Listen carefully. When you carry something divine inside you, when your life has been marked by a higher purpose, it cannot go unnoticed. There are eyes watching you, whispers surrounding you, and hearts that secretly tremble because what you carry is greater than what they can comprehend. They don't just see YOU, they see the power behind you, and it threatens everything within them. You wonder why the jealousy is loud. It's because your very existence exposes what they lack. And today we're going to uncover why they fear the very power you didn't even choose for yourself. When divine favor rests upon you, it changes the atmosphere around your life. It makes people see you differently, even when you have not changed. It makes them whisper your name in rooms you've never entered. It makes them study you, watch you, and sometimes despise you without reason. Why? Because favor is not fair. Favor cannot be explained. Favor cannot be earned. And when it shows up, it exposes those who have been living without it. You see, when you are chosen for something greater, you become a mirror to the insecurities of others. Your very presence reminds them of what they could have been, should have been, or wish they were. And instead of celebrating what God has placed in you, they fight it. Not because you hurt them, not because you wronged them, but because the light in you reveals the darkness in them. Have you noticed how people who once smiled with you suddenly begin to distance themselves? Have you noticed how those who once clapped for you now roll their eyes when your name is mentioned? It's not about you, it's about what you carry. The anointing, the wisdom, the grace, the resilience, the divine backing on your life. It intimidates the spirits around them. They cannot understand how you keep rising when you should have fallen. They cannot explain why doors open for you that remain shut for them. So they label you, they mock you, they gang up against you. But deep down, they fear you, because divine favor is a force they cannot fight. When God endorses you, no man can cancel you. When heaven has stamped its seal on your assignment, no earthly opinion can reverse it. They may gather, but they cannot prevail. They may talk, but they cannot stop what is already in motion. They may try to block your path, but favor makes a way where there seems to be no way. So don't be shocked when you see the jealousy rising. Don't be confused when your kindness is repaid with cruelty. Don't let their fear of your favor make you doubt your own calling. It's not about you fitting in with them. It's about you standing out for Him. But here's the truth you must remember. Favor always carries a price. And the moment you accept it, you must also accept the resistance that comes with it. Are you ready for the weight of that calling? Are you prepared for what your favor will demand from you? Because what happens when jealousy doesn't just remain silent, but begins to move in ways you never expected? What happens when your favor exposes the hidden plots of their hearts? Stay with me, because next, we're going to uncover why jealous hearts can't handle your calling. When a person cannot handle their own identity, they will always struggle to handle yours. And when your life begins to reflect a calling that is bigger than your surroundings, it disrupts the comfort of small minds. People who have settled for mediocrity cannot stand the sight of someone who refuses to settle. Those who gave up on their dreams cannot stand the presence of someone still chasing purpose. So they whisper, they scheme, they criticize, but what they really fear is the reminder that they too were created for something greater. You see, a divine calling does not just elevate you. It confronts others. It confronts their laziness, their excuses, their complacency. It reminds them that they have hidden talents buried under fear. It stirs an unrest in their souls. And instead of allowing that discomfort to push them toward their own growth, they turn it outward. They attack you because it is easier to fight your calling than face their own reflection. That's why your calling feels heavy. That's why you feel misunderstood. Because you're not just living for yourself, you are living as a sign, a testimony, a reminder of what's possible when someone aligns with purpose. And to those who are not ready to change, your life becomes an irritation. They cannot handle the pressure of being around someone who refuses to compromise. They cannot handle the glow of someone who carries destiny. But here's the secret. They fear what they cannot define. They see your steps ordered, your words carry weight, your presence shift rooms, and they cannot explain it. It's not your beauty, your intelligence, or your skills alone. It's the calling that rests on you. It is not something you bought. It's not something you earned. It's something given, something divine. And they know deep down, no matter what they do, they cannot take it away. So they form alliances, they create rumors, they build walls. They hope that if they gather enough voices against you, it will silence you. But what they don't realize is, the more they push against you, the more your calling proves itself. Because a true calling is not validated by applause, it is validated by resistance. And the resistance you face is proof that you carry something greater than they can comprehend. But let me ask you this. What do you do when the attacks come not from strangers, but from those closest to you? What happens when the jealousy isn't distant, but intimate? When the ones you trusted cannot handle the weight of your rising? Stay with me, because next we will uncover the silent power behind your presence. There is a power you carry that speaks even when you are silent. Have you noticed it? You walk into a room and suddenly the atmosphere shifts, conversations pause, eyes follow you, hearts grow restless, and you haven't even said a word. That is the silent power of your presence. It is not about what you wear or what you own or even what you say. It is about what surrounds you. It is about the unseen force that walks in with you. People can sense when someone is covered. They can sense when someone is backed by something greater. You don't need to announce who you are. Your spirit announces it before your mouth does. That's why they stare. That's why they talk. That's why they feel a strange discomfort they cannot explain. Because your presence carries weight. It carries authority. It carries destiny. And here's the truth. They feel it even more than you do. You might think you are ordinary, but to them, you are different. You carry peace in the middle of their chaos. You carry confidence in the midst of their insecurity. You carry a light they can't dim, and it disturbs their darkness. And because they cannot silence what they feel, they try to silence you. Your silent power exposes what words cannot. It reveals motives. It reveals hidden hearts. It reveals the true nature of those around you. That is why some people change the moment you show up. They either draw closer to the light you carry, or they distance themselves because they cannot bear it. You don't even have to confront them. Your very existence confronts what is inside them. That is why jealousy grows in secret. They won't always say it. They won't always show it, but they feel it. Deep down, they know they cannot match what is on you. They cannot compete with something that was divinely placed. And the fear of that power, the fear of that influence, makes them act in ways that reveal their own weakness. So do not underestimate the impact of your presence. Do not shrink yourself to make others comfortable. Do not dim your light to fit into their darkness. Because the power you carry is not for you alone. It is for those you are called to impact. And sometimes that power speaks louder in silence than it ever could in words. But here's the question. What happens when that silent power doesn't just expose hearts, but begins to reveal the hidden fears that envy tries to disguise? What happens when your very existence forces others to face what they've been running from? Stay with me, because next, we're going to uncover the fear hidden in their envy. Envy is never just about dislike. It is fear dressed up in quiet smiles and polite words. It is fear that whispers, What if they really are better than me? What if they rise higher than I ever could? What if their success exposes my failure? And instead of confronting that fear within themselves, they turn it outward toward you. They mask it with criticism. They hide it behind jokes. They cover it with silence. But make no mistake, behind their envy is a deep, unsettling fear. They fear the evidence of your growth. They fear the proof of your resilience. They fear how your life makes theirs look small in comparison. Because every time you step into another level, every time you overcome something that was designed to break you, every time you rise, it reminds them that they could have risen too. It reminds them of the dreams they abandoned, the opportunities they wasted, the faith they lacked. So they try to discredit you. They say, oh, they just got lucky. They say, it won't last. They say, it's not really that special. But deep down, they know it's real, and that terrifies them, because your existence proves that greatness is possible even in the same environment they gave up in. And here is the deeper truth. They are not just afraid of you. They are afraid of what you represent. You are a living reminder that obedience to purpose brings results. You are a reminder that staying faithful pays off. You are proof that God can take someone ordinary and do something extraordinary. And that proof is dangerous to a person who has settled for less. It shakes their comfort. It disturbs their excuses. That's why they plot in secret. That's why they try to gather others to their side. Because fear loves company. They think if enough people doubt you, it will somehow stop what is already destined. But fear cannot cancel purpose. Envy cannot destroy what has been divinely protected. They can talk, but they cannot touch what God has ordained. So don't waste time trying to explain yourself to fearful hearts. Don't waste energy trying to convince them to like you. Their fear is not your burden to carry. Your responsibility is to keep moving, keep shining, keep becoming everything you were created to be. Because their fear only proves that you are walking in something they cannot deny. But let me ask you this. What happens when your light not only reveals their fear, but also exposes the darkness they've been hiding all along? What happens when the very glow of your life uncovers secrets they never wanted to be seen? Stay with me, because next we're going to uncover how your light reveals their darkness. Light always exposes what darkness tries to hide. And when you carry a divine light, you cannot help but reveal what others want to keep in the shadows. Have you noticed? The closer people get to you, the more their true nature comes to the surface. The masks start to slip. The pretenses begin to fall apart. Because your light is not just about shining, it is about exposing. It reveals intentions. It uncovers hidden motives. It forces truth into places where lies have been comfortable for too long. That's why some people avoid you. That's why they feel uneasy in your presence. They can't explain it, but they feel seen. Not by your eyes, but by the light you carry. It makes them confront things they don't want to deal with. It makes them face the bitterness, the jealousy, the compromise, the deceit they've been trying to bury. And instead of embracing that exposure as an opportunity to change, they turn it into resentment toward you. Your light reminds them of what they are not. It reminds them of what they have lost. It reminds them of the purity, the integrity, the courage they once had but abandoned. And that's why they speak against you. That's why they try to discredit you. Because it's easier for them to dim your light than to admit they've been living in darkness. But here is the truth. Your light is not meant to make anyone comfortable. It is meant to illuminate. It is meant to show the path. It is meant to bring clarity where there has been confusion. And if your light exposes their darkness, it is not to shame them, but to give them a chance to step into the truth. Whether they take that chance or not, that is their choice. And this is why you must never dim your glow to make others feel safe. Never shrink your brilliance to fit into their shadows, because your light is evidence of the one who sent you. It is proof that you are walking in alignment with a higher purpose. And no matter how much they fight it, no matter how much they try to cover it, true light cannot be hidden. It will always reveal what is real. But let me ask you, what happens when your light doesn't just expose darkness, but also begins to draw unwanted attention from forces you cannot see? What happens when your glow awakens opposition you didn't even know existed? Stay with me, because next, we're going to uncover the price of carrying a divine assignment. Carrying a divine assignment is not just an honor, it is a weight. It is a responsibility that will separate you, isolate you, and sometimes even break you in ways no one else can see. People admire the glory, but they don't understand the cost. They see the favor, but they don't see the nights of wrestling with doubt. They see the elevation, but they don't see the loneliness that comes with it. Because when you are chosen for something greater, you cannot live like everyone else. The assignment demands more from you. It demands discipline when others are careless. It demands sacrifice when others are comfortable. It demands silence when others would fight back. And the hardest part, it often demands that you love those who oppose you, bless those who curse you, and keep serving even when you are misunderstood. That is the price. You see, the moment you accept a divine calling, you also accept the resistance that comes with it. The attacks are not random. They are strategic. They are designed to distract you, to discourage you, to make you question if you are really chosen. And sometimes it feels unfair. Sometimes it feels like too much. But remember this, what you carry is not ordinary, so the opposition will not be ordinary either. You will notice seasons where you are misunderstood by those closest to you. You will find that people you love cannot handle the journey you're on. Not because they are evil, but because they were not called to carry what you carry. And if you're not careful, you will try to drag people with you who were never meant to go where you are going. That too is part of the cost. But here is the beauty hidden in the weight. Every burden of the assignment is tied to a breakthrough. Every sacrifice you make is tied to a greater glory. Every tear you cry is watering seeds of destiny you can't even see yet. The assignment may feel heavy, but it is shaping you, stretching you, refining you for what is ahead. So don't quit under the weight. Don't despise the price. Because if the calling is great, the preparation will be great. And in the end, the purpose will make the pain worth it. But let me ask you, what happens when, despite the cost you've paid, the jealousy around you still grows louder? What happens when even your silence cannot stop the noise of small minds? Stay with me, because next we're going to uncover why they can't stop talking about you. They can't stop talking about you because your life has become a conversation they cannot ignore. Even when they say they don't care, they watch. Even when they claim they're not bothered, they listen. Even when they pretend they've moved on, your name still finds its way into their thoughts. Why? Because you represent something they can't control. You represent a story they can't explain. You represent progress they can't stop. They talk because your growth disturbs their stagnation. They talk because your resilience silences their excuses. They talk because every time you rise, it confronts the parts of them that refuse to rise. And whether it's in admiration or in criticism, your life has become a mirror they cannot escape. Some talk to honor you. Others talk to tear you down. But either way they talk. You see, when a person is empty on the inside, they fill the void with noise about others. And your name becomes the easiest topic because you carry what they crave. Some crave your confidence. Some crave your peace. Some crave your ability to keep moving when life should have stopped you. And instead of asking how you do it, they settle for speculation. They create their own stories. They add their own lies, because it's easier to explain away your success than to admit that it came from something beyond their understanding. But here's the irony. Every time they speak your name, they promote your purpose. Every time they plot against you, they push you into a greater awareness of your calling. Every time they try to silence you, they actually give you more reason to keep going, because their words cannot undo what has been written over your life. And this is why you must learn to be still when the noise rises. Do not fight rumors with rumors. Do not answer every accusation. Do not waste your energy proving yourself to people who are determined not to see the truth. The noise is simply proof that you are making impact, and impact is always louder than silence. But understand this, sometimes the talking doesn't just remain words. Sometimes it turns into action. Sometimes it becomes plots. Sometimes it becomes weapons. So what do you do when the whispers turn into schemes designed to stop you? What do you do when the gang of voices becomes an army of opposition? Stay with me, because next we're going to uncover the hidden weapons formed against the chosen. When you are chosen, the opposition against you will not always be obvious. It won't always come as loud threats or open attacks. Sometimes it comes as hidden weapons, subtle plots, quiet sabotage, schemes designed in the dark. People smile in your face, but sharpen their knives behind your back. They pretend to support you while secretly hoping you fail. They say they're happy for you, but their actions reveal the truth. And the reason these weapons are hidden is because they fear being exposed. They know they cannot confront you openly because the power backing your life is too strong. So they operate in secrecy. They work through whispers. They plant seeds of doubt in others. They create confusion, hoping it will slow you down. They use manipulation, hoping it will distract you from your path. But what they don't realize is this: no weapon formed against a chosen life will prosper. It can form, yes, but it cannot succeed. There will be times you won't even know what's being said about you. There will be moments when you feel resistance, but you can't trace where it's coming from. That is because the battle is not always in the natural, it's spiritual. It's deeper than just people. It's the spirit behind their actions that is threatened by the destiny you carry. And if you're not careful, you'll start fighting people, when in reality, it's not even them, it's what's working through them. So what do? You stay rooted in your purpose. You stay anchored in the one who sent you. You remain focused, knowing that for every hidden weapon, there is a hidden shield already protecting you. What they plan in secret, heaven already saw before it began. What they thought would harm you will end up pushing you closer to where you're meant to be. And here's the mystery. Sometimes the very weapons they design become the tools for your next breakthrough. The very schemes they build become the steps for your elevation. What was meant to bury you becomes the platform for your rising. That is why you don't have to fight back in fear. You only have to keep moving in faith. But let me ask you, what happens when you rise above every weapon and your resilience makes the noise of their failure even louder? What happens when your elevation causes the same people who opposed you to watch you from below? Stay with me, because next we're going to uncover how to rise above the noise of small minds. There comes a moment when you must decide to rise above the noise. Because small minds will always speak loudly. They will always find something to criticize, something to twist, something to mock. But if you stop to answer every voice, you will lose sight of the path ahead. You cannot soar with eagles while pausing to argue with crows. You cannot fulfill destiny while trying to convince those who are determined not to understand. Rising above the noise means learning the power of selective hearing. It means knowing when to stay silent, when to speak, and when to simply walk away. It means refusing to let their opinions define your direction. Because the truth is, the noise is proof of your progress. No one talks about what doesn't matter. No one attacks what isn't making impact. If your name is being mentioned, it's because you're moving in a way they cannot ignore. So don't lower yourself to their level. Don't step off your mountain just to wrestle in the valley. Keep your focus. Keep your pace. Keep your integrity. Because the higher you go, the quieter their voices will become. Not because they stop talking, but because they no longer matter. You'll realize they can't reach where you're headed. Understand this. Every great vision attracts small minds. Every great calling attracts small conversations. But those conversations can't stop the plan that is over your life. They may distract some, but they cannot delay destiny. And when you keep rising, something powerful happens. The very people who once spoke against you are forced to watch the evidence of your elevation. They may never admit it, but deep inside, they know the truth. They could not stop you. And that's why you must rise quietly but boldly. Let your fruit speak louder than your words. Let your results silence the rumors. Let your consistency answer every question. Because when you keep building, when you keep shining, when you keep growing, the noise becomes irrelevant. But here's the real test. What do you do when you finally rise and the very ones who tried to hold you down now come back pretending to celebrate you? What do you do when the tables turn and those who mocked you now need you? Stay with me, because next we're going to uncover the unshakable strength of a God-given purpose, a true purpose. A God-given purpose is unshakable. It cannot be stopped by opinions. It cannot be destroyed by jealousy. It cannot be hindered by the schemes of small minds. When you are walking in something divine, it carries a force that no man can cancel. You may be delayed, yes. You may be misunderstood. You may be attacked. But you will not be defeated, because what comes from heaven cannot be undone on earth. That is why you must never build your life on the approval of people. Approval can change. Support can fade. Crowds can turn. But purpose remains. Purpose outlives rumors. Purpose outlasts betrayal. Purpose transcends seasons. When you know who sent you, you don't have to defend yourself to those who cannot see. When you know what you carry, you don't have to prove it to anyone. You just keep walking. You just keep building. You just keep showing up, and the evidence will speak for itself. They will wonder, how are they still standing after all of that? How are they still moving forward when so much was thrown at them? How are they still shining after everything they've been through? And the answer is simple. You are not sustained by them. You are sustained by the one who gave you the assignment. That is why your purpose is unshakable. And here's the beautiful mystery. Every attack that came to destroy you only positioned you for greater influence. Every season of pain carried a lesson you now use as power. Every storm that tried to drown you only revealed that you were built to walk on waves. And now, the same people who laughed at your process will have to witness your promise. So hold your head high. Keep your heart steady. Keep your hands working. Don't waste your breath explaining what will soon be undeniable. Because in the end, it won't be your words that convince them. It will be your results. It will be the evidence of a life carried by purpose. And now, hear me clearly, no gang of jealous hearts can stop a destiny that was written before you were born. No plot, no rumor, no weapon. No delay can erase what heaven has ordained. You are unstoppable because the power that called you is greater than the fear that opposes you. So walk boldly, shine freely, live fully, because your story is not over. Your assignment is not complete. And your next chapter, it will silence every doubt. It will answer every question. It will prove once and for all that divine power always prevails. Your enemies will watch in silence. Your critics will fade into the background, and your life will speak louder than any voice raised against you. Keep moving. because the best is still ahead.